Could I have permission to record?
I don't see why not.
Okay, thank you. Oh, where the little things show up at. Oh, what's going on with all this? I wish I had my work computer. Well, let's see, is it in here? No. That's shot, so I'm just gonna not take up bandwidth. Let's see. What else?
You're muted, Joanna.
Hello.
Yeah. Is Jessica here?
Yeah, she's right there. I see her.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm not gonna do too much talking, so I'll just be in the background.
Wait, you just have to call the meeting to order and
Yeah.
give us an agenda.
Yep. Jessica, are you going to call the meeting to order?
Go ahead, Joanna.
What? I'm calling the meeting to order? Okay.
I told you guys I'm working today, so I'm here, but I'm not gonna be doing a lot of engaging. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. I'll be home in like 20 minutes, but yeah.
All right. I'm calling the meeting to order. I don't know. There was an agenda that Jasmine sent out, so
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
thank you. And then I think that everybody should, all the board members should state their names and their position and that they're attending the meeting. So let's start off with that.
Is the meeting officially open?
Huh? Just that they're here. We want to make sure that everybody knows that we're all here. So my name is Joanna Morell. I'm the vice chair and I'm here.
I'm Bradley Bondi. I'm the transportation chair. I'm present.
Thank you.
I'm Ken Lucchini, treasurer, and I'm here.
I am Jasmine Anderson Sprague, and I am the public safety chair. And I'm here.
Jessica Walker. Hi, everyone. Like I said, I'm just gonna be doing a lot of listening tonight. So yeah.
Okay, so I think that's all of us. The agenda, I need to pull that up.
I just put it in the chats, Joanna.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So we're going to introduce the proposed bylaws. We're going to talk about that. I know that there are some proposed bylaws that were sent in by some LNA members. So by Shar, it looks like, and then also by Ken and Joanne, and then also, I'm not sure if Mary Mary's trying to get on. She just sent an email. She said that the link on the page doesn't work, but so I used the link and I got on. So hopefully Mary can get on soon, but I know that she's trying to get on, so she'll be here shortly. Anyways, so the notes that were sent in, or the proposed bylaws. Also, Jasmine had a version that she had put on the website. The link didn't work for a while, but she put it on there. It's there right now, right? Jasmine? You're muted.
Yes, it's maybe just like this link right now, like it is working for some people and not for others. So I have two different links up there. One is a PDF version and one is a link to the Google Drive.
Okay, thank you. And it looks like Ken and Joanne have a question, so I will start off with what they're. Ken?
Okay. One second, I'm fumbling around here with all these controls. What I'd like to do at this point is make a motion that the bylaws revision be postponed until a bylaws revision committee is established. That way we have more eyes looking at the bylaws. A few people have added in the revisions and stuff and that's taken into account, but I feel that we need more people to be involved with this. So I'm making a motion that bylaws revisions be postponed until a bylaws revision committee is established. Is there anyone who would like to second that?
You have a second in the chat, Ken?
Yeah, looks like you have a second in the chat and then also a third.
So I guess.
So that means we can vote on the motion then?
There's
Yeah.
discussion first.
Okay.
So if anyone has any discussion.
Yeah, so we have the agenda says introduction of proposed bylaws, public comment, board discussion and motions and voting that are necessary. So we can vote and motion to do that at the last piece. But right now we're just introducing and acknowledging that these proposed bylaws exist. And now I just want to know hear from the public.
Ken,
So-
is your hand still up?
No.
Do you have something else?
It was seconded, so we're having a discussion about that motion now.
For sure, but Schultz also has his hand up.
Okay.
We're just having public comments right now.
I'm
No,
trying to-
we're having discussion for a seconded motion.
So if I understand what's happening, there was a motion, it's been seconded, there's discussion of the motion and then a vote. And so that's what I wanted to speak to. I understand there's also a desire to have an exchange about bylaws. I'd like to participate in that as well. I've been around the LNA for a while. There was a wonderful level of outreach the last time we attempted to change the bylaws that had an inclusive committee of about 14 people, plus people that drafts were sent over to. There was a lot happening. It was presented to the membership and a request was made to postpone it. And that was voted in, so we postponed it. I don't see in anything you guys have posted to the public any reference or reflection of that rather well-drafted document. I've looked at some of the things you guys have placed out there, and it surprises me you're using a template from 2015 and things like that that just seem very very closed circle. And so the idea that a committee for an organization that presumes to be the landing pad for 22,000 residents in Lents, that's doing a process that sees, what are there, 7 of us? It just doesn't seem very inclusive or like there was much outreach. I followed the LNA and didn't have any clue this was even happening. So I don't understand how this board is at a point where they're suggesting, here's the draft that's ready or whatever. It doesn't make sense to me. And these Zoom meetings, as you can see by the lack of attendees, are not very hospitable to the masses, not that there are masses. And so with that is where I'm suggesting that I fully support Ken's motion to move this forward under that logic. So thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, thanks for your comments.
I'll just say one quick comment while we're on this subject, because we've been doing these meetings since we were elected, and the participation has been what it is since day one. So if people want to participate in the bylaw revision, if they want to participate in general meetings, board meetings, let the record reflect that everyone is welcome to do so. Most people in the community don't want to have anything to do with the LNA. It's not about inclusivity when every meeting has been open to the general public, even the board meetings. We've never, not once, hidden what we were doing or like made the meetings restrictive to only board members. So if people in the community don't want to participate, they have that right to. If we're operating under the assumption that they're being excluded and there's all of these willing people that want to join the community, or excuse me, the committee, and there's all these willing people that want to sign up for the board of the LNA, why do we still not have one person volunteering to be a secretary? I just don't understand that rhetoric when we sit there and talk about inclusivity, and every single meeting has been inclusive. There's not a lot of people, because of the past history, that want anything to do with the LNA for obvious reasons. You knew that. I'm just going to say this. There's many people right now that are like wanting to be a part of it, but the way that they're going about it is extremely toxic, and I just don't know how that can lead to effective change. I'm putting this on the record right now. There's people that supposedly want to be part of this bylaw committee that are making fake Facebook pages to harass board members. I just don't see how that is part of progress or anything that's conducive to successful outcome at all. So I'm just gonna leave it there, but you know, here nor there, we're following the bylaws. We have 7 days to put it out, whether we do or we don't. I'm pretty indifferent to it at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself because I've said what I have to say tonight.
Okay, so it looks like we still have some more comments from some people. Schultz is saying that he's not, he has his comments in the chat. And then Joanne and Ken and Schultz have their hands raised. I would just like to state before we move forward that I know the board members are doing their best, and they're doing their best to make progress. And we do want, if you all want to have a committee, I think that that is a great idea. We just need to keep talking about it, and we can vote on that later. And so we just need to move forward and get these things done. So I will, I see Joanne and Ken. Ken, do you have a comment, or Joanne?
I do. Emails asking to be on the bylaws committee by at least 3 people I know have been sent but not responded to. And this is since June, since the new board, since we as the new board have come in. I don't have access to the Lentz Neighborhood Association email, so I can't verify what people are saying to me. But that's the word that I'm getting from at least 3 people that they want to be on a bylaws committee, but they haven't been responded to and say, yeah, we're going to form one and we would like you to join. So I don't think we're being inclusive if folks' emails who want to be on a bylaws committee aren't being responded to. And I think we should wait a little bit longer to postpone the bylaws until a committee is established and we get more people on that bylaws revision committee.
No, that's fine. We can form a committee. And I know that there's a lot of interest in this, and I'm 100%. I mean, I'm sure we want to be as inclusive as possible. And I know I'm sure that in the past, I haven't been at the meetings lately because my family's been sick. I was at the last board meeting, and there wasn't a lot of we kind of ran out of time. We wanted to talk more about this, which is why we held this meeting. So it's not that we aren't trying to be inclusive. We definitely exclusive. We want it to be as inclusive as possible. And we wanted to have this meeting to talk more about it. So here we are talking about it. And Schultz, sounds like you have your hand up. I see your hand up. Excuse me, I need to cough. So I'm going to mute myself real quick.
Thank you. Feeling a little attacked for speaking up, but that's fine. Mine is really about bylaws. Bylaws is a hot topic when it comes to the LNA. Yes, the LNA has functioned a long time where people find out about a hot topic and suddenly there's a big swell of people that are interested. Sometimes the organization has been able to capitalize on that, sometimes not. Yes, we have a cantankerous community, especially if you get on Facebook. I don't think insinuating that you know who a fake account is, because I've played this game and I was wrong and it turned out to be somebody else, and it's really hard to identify because there's a few of them. I see them kind of often because I host one of the Lens pages, a couple of Lens pages, see them all the time. And for whatever reason, community members, when they do that, are not feeling like they can speak up for themselves. And that's unfortunate, but that's the reality, is they don't feel like they can come and speak. So they come up with a fake thing. So I don't think that one should overvalue those fake profiles or undervalue. I think just one recognizes, wow, there's another person who doesn't feel comfortable talking, right? I ran for the board. I've clearly expressed interest in being on the board. I've shown up as appropriate. In the past, there was a lot of commentary about how some people are alienating other people and all this kind of pitting people against one another. So I was like, hey, look, I didn't make it on the last board, so I'll just sit back. So I sat back, right? And then as these topics have come up, when they've drawn my attention, I show up. And I suggest that there's a lot of people that operate like that are similarly like just watching in the background. And an opportunity is present here when you say we're going to fix the bylaws to do a groundswell. When you say an emergency meeting for the board, that is typically, if you're following like Robert's rules and common practices, it's really board only. So by its construct, it sounds exclusive. And I suggest that's what I thought, exactly what I thought. It's like, wow, so the board's going to do this and so that's why I resonate with Ken's suggestion and I hope what I'm offering is somehow helpful to moving things forward, because I have no interest in lambasting anybody or anything like that. However, there is a history of not so great engagement from people when they get on the board. There's this weird thing that happens, this idea, I'm a board member now, and it's hard to defeat because you get attacked as board members. And so you're like, okay, well then I need to own this thing and make a shield. But really, the board positions are voluntary, and sadly, this is a messy board. It's messy, and it needs something like a revised bylaws. But in my opinion, and that's why I'm speaking tonight, much at all, is that it needs a robust. Hey, look, we spent 2 months here. They are. We've tried. We've done what we can. If you didn't show up, now we can say we had a robust engagement, and that's what I'm suggesting is the way to really make this work, and to use it as a tool for more inclusive representation of our community.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that this emergency, I just want to speak to the emergency meeting. It was just I was the one that wanted to have the meeting because I wanted to continue this discussion, but all meetings have been open to the public, even board meetings. So, just FYI, people can go to the board meetings. And looks like Ken has a comment, so I will, Ken, chime in. Raise your hand's raised, but I think you might be on mute. Okay.
Oh, pardon me. I'm just trying to get used to this setup here with this computer layout. It's like I said, it's not mine. So the last two comments there were typed in by Joanne. And what I'd like to say about this whole process, Jasmine's put some work into the bylaws. I know Joanne has in the past, and now Robert wants to work on it. So that's why it would be nice to postpone the bylaws revision until we can get a bylaws committee established. And that way, once the bylaws committee gets going, you can get more membership involvement, and don't feel rushed to do it, because what is it? It's been a long time since they've been revised, and there's a lot there to go over. What is it? That only documents like 50 pages with all the annotations, let alone having to read through a 10-page document. And it's one of those things that folks really need to take a look at and read line by line, and then annotate if they have any questions. And then if there's questions and stuff, discussion, and then try to work it out. And it takes time to do that. It takes a lot of time to do that. So that's why I'm making the motion that the bylaws revisions be postponed until a bylaws revision committee is established. And like's been typed in the chat, that can only be established by the board.
Totally understandable. And I think that we can do that. And I did also notice that Shar wrote some revisions as well. So we have many people that have written things, and I acknowledge that it's going to be really challenging to do this right now because there's so many different documents floating around. I think that some sort of committee sounds like a great idea, and it looks like Jasmine has her hands up. So Jasmine.
Yeah, I want to read the motion again because I want to make an amendment to it. And it's been a while. We probably forgot what it said. Ken made a motion to that the bylaws revision be postponed until a bylaws committee is established.
Yes.
And my amendment would be that we put some kind of time frame on that.
Nice. Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because since day one, at every meeting, and maybe not every single meeting, but most meetings, we have heard that this is something the General Assembly wants. It has been tried multiple times and failed. So I just want to make sure that we are getting it done, and it doesn't just become something that we keep pushing off because we never agree on what is either a large enough committee or outreach attempt.
Yeah, so I like the fact that, or I liked the idea of putting a deadline on things, just because it gives everybody motivation to get the whatever needs to happen done. So if we want to form a committee by a certain date, that's a good idea. So does anybody have any comments about that, Ken?
Well, if the first motion here that we've been discussing, that the bylaws revision be postponed until a bylaws revision committee is established, that will take care. Jesus, computer's doing weird stuff. We'll take care of things immediately at hand, and then I could make a second motion to set up some dates that things be done by. One to when to start and form the committee, and then one that then that the board approval that. First of all, I'd like to first get the first motion that has been seconded voted on.
Okay.
If discussion is finished.
Yeah, we do have a question from Char asking who on the board is going to step up and lead this committee. And so I do think that there's some interest from you, Ken, and then
Uh,
Jasmine, I think there was some interest.
I
from
don't have the
Bill.
bandwidth at this time due
Mhm.
to head a bylaws committee. I'm committed at college there with a full schedule. I can be on the bylaws committee, but I am not able to head a bylaws committee at this point in time. Joanne has emailed and said she's been interested. Joanne Reese Lucchini's been asking via email that she do that even before this board since June. And so she said she would like to. But and maybe Robert might want to also. So, you know, you've got, or Jasmine, you know, you've got 2 or 3 people there, but I don't have the bandwidth to do it. And I'm just being straightforward about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I hear you loud and clear. So I think that a board member would chair it and then work with community members. At least that's what I think would be good. But we need a volunteer.
Can we get through and get a vote on the first motion?
Yeah.
To make, I made a motion that the bylaws revision be postponed till a bylaws revision committee is established. And so that I believe was
Yes.
seconded. Was it Robert that seconded that? I have to scroll back.
Yes, it was seconded, and then I think Shar also commented on that or
So
made a motion to approve that.
is the discussion through with that motion, or before we move to vote?
Schultz has his hand up.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is I was just reading off the comments because Shar had a question about who on the board is going to step up and lead it. So that's why I brought that up. And then sounds like there's still more comments. So we're still commenting. So I'm going to see what Schultz has to say real quick. Schultz.
Thank you. You'll have to forgive me. Sometimes these things confuse me. So I understand there was a motion made and seconded, and there was a request for an amendment. But typically it's the motioner that accepts or declines the amendment. I believe the amendment was to give this a timeline, but I didn't hear, was there a suggested date to the timeline?
What I have is I have a suggested date here,
We're
and I'd like to.
losing your
I would like.
audio, Schultz.
I'd like to make a second motion after the first one is passed, but I can't make the second motion until after the first one is passed.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
sounds like we're all
If I
talking
could-
about, hey,
If I could just finish.
Okay, look, I've got 3 motions lined up. One, which has been seconded, is to make a motion that the bylaws revision committee be postponed till a bylaws committee revision committee is established. Motion number 2 is that recruiting for members of a bylaws revision committee, including the bylaws revision committee chairperson, start by Sunday, September 18th, 2022, and be posted on the LNA website and Facebook. And then a third motion asking that the bylaws revision committee chairperson and a board liaison, if applicable, be approved by the October board meeting, which is Thursday, October 13th, 2022. But I cannot proceed forward with motion 2 or 3 until motion 1 is approved.
we know that, and I get
For
it.
the,
We
and for the
haven't done
record,
that yet.
Ken, are you
Yeah.
rejecting the amendment?
Yes, I'm rejecting the amendment because that amendment will be included in motion number 2.
Then I make a motion that we call for the question.
Schultz votes yes.
Will you also second that, Schultz? Somebody has to second to call for a vote, and then Joanna will call for a vote.
Okay,
Yes,
great. I'll call for a vote then.
You want us to type it
are we going-
in?
Yeah, it sounds great. Type it in.
So are we gonna vote on it?
Yes. Looks like Schultz is voting. Yes, looks like. Char's asking exactly what are we voting on? We're voting on,
Again, I've made a motion that let me type that in.
yeah, type that in. That would be really great. I can
Okay,
do that as well.
The motion is that a bylaws, I can't type that fast.
can do it.
Revision, be postponed until, God, I can't type fast. Pardon me, folks. A bylaws revision committee, and I gotta spell
Looks
it
like,
out.
looks like the
It's
chair
just,
typed it in. So everyone's voting right now because Ken, it's already been typed in the chats.
Okay, so I'm gonna, yes. Oh.
Looks like everybody's voting yes. So we've
Okay, and
decided,
then a yes,
okay,
vote from, Joe, and if I could spell her name right.
perfect. So this looks like I motion that we pass this vote.
Joanna, I didn't see your vote,
Oh.
and Bradley, I didn't see your vote.
I
And
vote aye.
Jessica, I didn't see your vote. Thank you, Bradley.
So does everybody here have had a chance to vote?
No, we're still waiting on a few people.
Just Jessica. Thank you. All right, that's everybody.
So what's the current tally? Because I can't see the challenge.
7 yeses, Ken.
And how many no's?
0 no's.
And how many abstain?
0.
0 no and 0 abstain. Okay, and since Joanne's fed up with my slow typing, she's typing in the second motion that I would like to make.
Okay,
And this, I hope will get things rolling. Otherwise, you guys have to wait for an hour.
second motion is I make a motion that a recruiting for members of a bylaw revision committee, including bylaws revision chairperson, start by Sunday, September 18th, 2022, and be posted on the LNA website and LNA Facebook. Great.
It needs a second, Shar.
Schultz
Thank you,
seconded.
Schultz.
Is there any discussion?
I think that people are voting. I think we have already had our discussion.
No, we haven't. Because my discussion for that is that saying by Sunday, September 18th is hard on me if I'm the only one posting to the website and the Facebook.
Oh,
Okay,
I
we
can't,
can revise that. What will be comfortable for you?
no, look here.
I would, just to piggyback off what Jasmine was just saying, I would say the same thing. We need to have people volunteering to do this work. I don't think that anybody can post on the Facebook page if you guys want to go ahead and post that, but
This
I
is,
think you went above and beyond what your actual role is, Jasmine. You've done a lot and I appreciate that, but yeah, I think some volunteering needs to happen. Like, yeah.
volunteer for what? I don't have access to Facebook or know how to operate.
Volunteering to head the committee,
We didn't ask
volunteering
that.
to recruit members, volunteering to post on the plethora of links, pages to get community involvement, all of that.
I will do the Facebook stuff. I just need to connect with Jasmine about it.
I can made a motion to amend September 18th to September 21st.
Okay. So that's comfortable for you, Jasmine. Will that work for everyone else? I second the motion or the amendment.
Okay, would you like to have everything retyped in so everybody can see the complete motion?
Yeah, I can do that real quick.
Uh,
Okay, second motion. September 21st. Okay. All right. Okay. Schultz, your hand is raised.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I understood that to post in a meaningful way on the Facebook page, you needed to have some level of admin status. It doesn't have to be the admin, it can be an editor or what have you. So my question is, like, in the past, all board members could, if they chose, but they had to sign some like pledge thing or whatever. And at times, the community has been allowed to support this effort and volunteer in this capacity. But I don't know that you all have really considered that as an option, or have you, I guess is the question. Because like something like, can somebody post a notice to the Facebook page or a calendar the events is pretty simple, and I'd happily do that, but I don't know that there's a role to allow for someone like myself to volunteer the way the view in the past from the board has been relative to this topic. So
Sounds like anyone can post on Facebook.
no,
that's-
visitors get relegated to a side column, whereas
Yeah.
admins are in the main column. That's the difference.
Yes.
Posts to
And
our
I was
face-
gonna
sorry.
continue.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna clarify that visitor posts, not only are they on a different spot on the LNA page, but they also don't show up in everybody else's timeline. So if you
Yes.
follow that page, it's not going to show up in your timeline. You have to go and look for it. So there's difference. And Schultz, to answer your question about has it been considered, the easy answer is no, because no one has ever mentioned that that was even possible. And I shouldn't say possible, but was ever an option. And so we just delegated that to people on the board who were willing to do it.
Yeah, and so that's what I was saying is that I am going to start doing that. We did have a secretary and other, and Jasmine was in charge of that as well. So I'm just volunteering to do more of that, which is what I said. But if we can talk about that, I feel like at a different time. Currently, I want to talk about this motion right here. That's in front of us. The second motion. I make a motion that recruiting for members of a bylaws revision committee, including bylaws revision chairperson, start by September 21st, 2022, and be posted on the LNA website and LNA Facebook. So we need someone to second that motion. Okay, looks like Char seconded it. Call the question.
Was that you calling the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, type it in again.
I'll second it. Oh, okay,
We're voting.
okay.
I vote yes.
And then I just voted yes, and then I typed in Joanne's vote, which was a yes.
We don't have a vote from Shar or Jessica.
Jasmine, did you vote?
I did.
Okay.
Schultz thinks Jessica was the yes. Mary, did you say yes out loud or was
It was
that
Mary.
Jessica? Mary.
It was Mary.
Yes, I vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica, we need your vote.
Jessica?
Jessica says yes, and I
Okay.
accidentally clicked direct message. So,
So what's the tally on the votes then?
that's 8 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions.
Thank you. And then I've got a third motion that I'll type in. Just give me a minute. Give me a couple minutes. I'll let Joanne type it. She pushed me on the wagon.
Joanna, are you going to call on Schultz while we wait for a typing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see the hand. I was looking at the chat. Schultz.
I just wanted to inject an appreciation for everybody taking their time. These things are tedious, but it's my opinion they set precedents of like how the organization operates, if community members are able to speak and all that kind of stuff. The tone with which board members speak to each other and the community, all that stuff. It does matter if people watch these videos, they're not in droves, but they do occasionally later on go backwards and check on these things. So I just wanted to say I appreciate the efforts.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. thank
Okay,
you.
looks like there's a third motion. So I'll read it and then we'll discuss it before I make
Okay.
a motion to vote on it. So third motion, I make a motion that a bylaws revision committee chairperson and a board liaison, if applicable, be approved by the October board meeting, which is Thursday, October 13th, 2022. So want to know what people think about that and
Yes,
comments
second.
about that.
You need a second. Shar seconded. So
Okay. Okay, call the question. People are voting.
all right, that's everyone. There's 7 yeses, no nos, no abstentions.
Great. So we have voted. I think that was the purpose of this meeting. Does anybody else have any additional comments? Okay. So we formed a bylaws committee, or we're going to, and we
I-
voted. Yeah,
I had a question. How many yes votes were tallied?
I just was looking back up. One,
7.
7.
7, thank you. And then 0 no, and no abstains. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. And that moves everything forward then.
Yep. We got it done. And there was some confusion, but we worked through it, and I appreciate your patience with us. This is an online meeting, and sometimes we can talk over each other or interrupt each other, and it's sometimes hard to determine exactly what the order of the agenda is going to be with so many different passionate viewpoints. But we have worked through it, and thank you so much for coming to this meeting, and thank you so much for your participation. It's really important that all people participate, and it really means a lot to us and your neighbors. You know, we're all here for our neighbors, and we want to make sure that this neighborhood gets recognized. So thank you so much.
are you closing the meeting?
I am closing the meeting. Yes, I was gonna just close it, but I just wanted to say thank you first. Okay, I'm gonna close the meeting now. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Later. Have a good evening.